Hey there, Skylar. I kind of feel like I'm a little late on the uptake with the videos. Let's see. Next month I'll have been on T for 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. And um, officially I started my transition in 2012. And I don't know. I've never been much for videos, so sorry, interruption. Um, Shoot. Anyway, I was saying I'm not much for social media. Um, I barely get on Facebook as it is, but I'm trying to build more of a network with people that I know and people that are, going through the same issues. And I just figured, community should mean something, even if I gotta make a little extra effort to get on and interact with people a little bit more. Um, To be honest, so far, I feel like my transition's gone a little slow, but okay for the most part. As I mentioned earlier, it's 3 years on T, and it kind of sucks a little bit because I feel like my facial hair, especially, should have grown in a lot more by now. Um, but I had to kind of take a step back and say, look at yourself biologically first of all. I was born quite a few months early. I've always had a big issue in getting my growth spurts and actually, you know, developing, I guess. So I'm just trying to be patient now, basically. Um, I got a little shadow over mustache. I don't know if you can even really see it in this light, but it's there and I can see it, so I guess it kind of helps. My voice actually was probably the better thing for me. It's gotten a lot deeper. I just watched a video that I made from like 2014, 2013. I don't really remember, but the difference that I've had is kind of great actually. But other than that, I'm actually up for top surgery here soon, hopefully. I have a consultation this Wednesday with Dr. Joel Beck, and that was kind of scary because at first, I live in Nevada, by the way, so HPN, they cover only one of your surgeries in a lifetime, apparently. So I had to find someone in network. That took a lengthy search, and then by the end of it, they didn't have anyone in network, so I was given the go ahead to go out of network. California is the closest, and that's where I decided I wanted to go because he does a good job so far that I've seen, and everybody that I've spoken with in their office is very helpful, very nice, um, and ultimately, I'm really freaking excited about that. So, outside of that, bottom surgery's been on my mind too because I like to plan ahead, and honestly, I'm not sure whether I want to, just for the simple fact that I'm a little bit more of a perfectionist than I've recognized before. And not to say that, the results aren't great or they're not good or, you know, some guys don't like their results or whatever, but I just feel like I don't want to do this and it doesn't come out the way I want to, and then I have to go through the process over again, basically, having somebody revise and so on and so forth. So ultimately, I'm just waiting a little bit longer for either the whole bioengineering to really take effect or, for something a little bit more. I'm not sure exactly, but I feel like I'll know when it's brought to my attention. Really, my biggest thing is being able to piss standing. So, in that vein, I would probably eventually opt for metoidoplasty if nothing else, because really size isn't a big deal to me. So I would deal with that, and I'm trying to get into the Navy. So the longer I wait, or I should say, the more surgeries or surgery that I have to do, the longer I have to wait, because you have to be healed up and everything for a full year before they will bring you to boot camp. So, this top surgery thing, I'm hoping that'll go quickly. And then if I do the metoidoplasty, I would rather it happen sometime next year, just so that I have less of a wait for the Navy boot camp thing. But like I said, it just depends on where I'm at, possibly next spring, to see about that. Because really, depending on who I go to, I can raise the money between now and then the wait period, I guess, and then healing time and all that. So really, it'd be possibly 2019 for Navy boot camp. I don't know, but really, part of the reason I decided to make this video today was because I was actually exploring 3-in-1 STP options, and there's a lot more producers now than there were a few years back, and I love that. However, I've been thinking on it forever now that these, especially the STP models, they don't really give you as much peace of mind as I think they should, given it's kind of some guys' answer to not doing bottom surgery. And really, this is kind of geared towards the ones that you can adhere to yourself. I think that, I mean, it's not just those ones, really, but they're the main culprit to me. They have this thing where almost all of them, the balls are like your cup to piss through. So it's like, okay, basically you want me to reach, right up in your underwear and press that all the way back, get a good seal to actually use it, when I don't want to have to do that, because it breaks reality, to be honest, to me. And in that vein, I feel like, anatomically speaking, your balls aren't going to be like all up on your ass kind of thing. So there's something left out there. And I had an idea a few months back. I want to actually get into producing them myself, but it's a slow going. I have to learn, and I have to actually kind of fund it myself for now, because I've seen a couple too many of these people that are, doing their own thing, and they ask for so much money, either to field research or just to get it, and then it takes so long, or it doesn't even happen at all because it's a scam, and I don't want to be doing that. So my plan isn't to ask for money or anything at first, really. Donations would be great, but that would be on a once I've shown that I'm actually doing this and putting it out there. Because initially the idea was for myself, honestly, but then I was, thinking, why kind of hide it? It's not anything that you need to keep to yourself. I'm not into this idea for the money or for recognition necessarily, so much as for being able to help other guys out there who are having the same issues with their STP as I am. And let me see if I can find a book. Put my main drawing in. I basically had a little idea where it's not quite as invasive. I don't know. Basically, the gist of it is that it's gonna be something that you can adhere to yourself. Excuse me, or wear with a harness if you want to. But the idea for me was, locker room passability more than anything, because nobody's really looking at each other's junk at the urinal, but you go into a locker room and you don't want to feel super awkward, and that's the point of the ones that you can adhere to yourself, is real good, I guess, stealth. And this isn't pushing stealth life on anybody or anything necessarily. I i identify as trans, but really I prefer to be seen as a male. So with that in mind, the whole idea for this was, okay, I need something that I don't have to like keep adjusting to piss, or just keep adjusting in general, or it's not in the right place and then you have to adjust it to pee or anything like that. And that's kind of how I feel the ones that are out right now are like. And I can't really say personally experience with Real Magic or EC or anybody really, but from what I've seen so far of the products, is that they're basically wanting the balls to be used as your funnel, and that's all fine and dandy, I guess. But to be honest, I feel like it would make more sense if instead the balls hung kind of not separately per se, but not as the freaking cup, not as the funnel. It doesn't make any sense to me for that to be happening, especially on the ones that adhere to you, because they're gonna be fucking stuck down there. Excuse my language, but they're gonna be stuck down there, so it's not really helpful, I guess. Not to me anyway. Other people, to each his own, but I feel like it should be more something like this, because if not, it just, like I said, ends up looking like you've got a pair of balls right between your legs where they're not supposed to be. They're supposed to be hanging, and they're pretty much not in most of the things that we have for that sort of thing. So basically, like I said, I was looking for a little bit more in that vein. I cannot find the spiral. Oh, there it is. Sorry, guys. So basically, my idea was this. And not only that, but I also, for the whole 3-in-1 function, I'm going to veer off a little bit. I feel like it is kind of odd that we don't have erection pumps in any of our prosthetics, because, I mean, if it's the size thing that is an issue, Real Magic's packers, from what I've seen and heard, are pretty freaking girthy. So I honestly don't understand why they don't have one in theirs, because it's perfectly big enough. And it just seems more realistic than taking off your packer and putting in an erection rod, or having one in there already and having to walk around like you got a semi-boner or boner all day, or anything like that. And then especially with the adhering ones, taking it off is a pain, I've heard. And so I don't want to have to do that to get hard, basically. So basically, if any of this kind of sounds a little familiar, some of the ideas were kind of like, I'm gonna say, borrowed from like the Tyrant 2 project or the Ultimate Prosthetic, which I've heard tell is a scam. And basically, my features idea, I'll go over that for you, is that you have an erection pump in a place where the corpus spongiosum and cavernosa are supposed to be in the penis to use to get an erection. Um, and also, I can't for the life of me realize why some of these other ones have like this little knob thing that's supposed to be like for your pleasure. I think personally I would rather like a little bro sleeve for my junk that I already got down there. It's coming out, so it should be going in something, not being pushed on by some little button or whatever. I don't know. Some people probably like it. To me, it seems backwards. I don't know. I'm not trying to offend anybody. If you like it, good for you. That's great. But I prefer something like a little freaking fleshlight inside, not like a full on thing, obviously. But basically, my next feature idea is a native FTM cock sleeve when it's erect. So, like, kind of like on the Tyrant 2, where they have the little pleasure knob that pops out when it's erect and goes back in when it's not. Something like that, basically. So, I mean, you're not like getting freaking whacked all day, every day. Um, and then next, obviously, I want them to look real, feel real, um, be internally lubricated so that the skin on top can actually move. And that leads me to the idea for foreskin or uncut versions, which, if it's internally lubricated, would be able to actually move from the glands and back. Hopefully, like I said, I don't really know anything experience wise about this kind of production, but I want to learn, and these are just some ideas I've had for the product that I want to incorporate. Hopefully, um, next, skin movement for cut and uncut. I said that one already. Um, the 3D testicles and the anatomical position, and inside surrounded by thin silicone lube solution, so they actually move around really well and move on their own when you're like doing something that should move them. They're pendulous, they move front and back, side to side, depending on your activity level and all that. The shave and look tab, well, for the tab where you glue it onto yourself, on the top, you know if you want that. But to be honest, the punched hair thing or the hair thing in general, I feel like that would be better off done at home once you get your prosthetic with your own hair. And this might sound a little gross to other people, but I mean, a lot of people shave anyway, so could use that as your own. I don't know if necessarily mean you have to like hand punch it yourself or some shit, but like, excuse me, like use the adhesive glue, put a thin layer, and sprinkle it on, like fucking sprinkles, I guess. I don't know. And there you go. If you want to just do the edges so it blends a little better, or all over the place, because to be honest, I don't really shave TMI, but I don't like to. I mean, once it gets like too much, then like you little trim, but sorry. Anyway, the upper and lower tab for better gluing, because like I said, I feel like on a lot of the prosthetics, especially the ones to glue on, they don't realize that instead of having your balls glued up under you, all up between your legs, they should have a small tab that mimics the perineum and can be glued in that place. So it creates a good seal, the balls hang where they're supposed to, dick hangs where it needs to, that kind of thing. I've seen something like that on the 8-inch STP recently on EC Creations, and that's pretty much my idea for that. But there is as far as I've seen, it's only on that 8-inch, and it's still a little wonkier than I've seen. I don't know. I want to get that one to test it out. It's a little bigger for me than I prefer at 8 inches, but I want to see. if the idea in my head works out as well as it came out with them, because it did come out pretty well. And hopefully within the next few months I can get that. I'm gonna be buying it on my next paycheck, so we'll see how that goes, and I'll adjust my ideas as it goes. And honestly, I'm cool with reaching out to one of the producers already doing their thing and asking them to kind of incorporate some of my ideas, since I don't know what the hell I'm doing really. I'd have to learn a bunch of stuff and, figure out what works. But also, I want to be able to do this kind of thing on my own so that I can help people closer to me. So that way, lessen production time. If there's more people doing the same thing, then hopefully that means that orders can be filled faster and better. So I want to get myself into the pool so that I can help out with all these massive orders going around. Like I said, this isn't about money. I don't really care about that. And I pull these together. They're going to be offered at a pretty low price, because, like I said, it's not about me making money. I'm just going to take that order money and put it right back into the next packer and add in my own funds where I'm lacking, because like I said, this isn't about me getting over on other guys or making money off of you guys or getting recognition for this necessarily. I just want to be able to add something to the table. Um, so last idea I had basically, so STP portion is a separate inside chamber that's held within the native skin there. Like, if you've seen the Ultimate Prosthetic website, you see that they basically offer that you can have balls that are, your own skin, like it goes in and pull the other skin around it. It's basically something like that, but not like full on like that for, excuse me, to cover the balls prosthetics. So much as it's for excuse me, for when you actually are peeing. It's basically kind of like a little cup that's under there, and then the tab goes under that to glue on all around correctly. So not only do you have that bottom seal just in case, but this top part is supposed to do its job and lead piss away. Um, because obviously it's just going to work out a little better that way. I want to give you a little peek at the drawing. I don't know how well you'll be able to really see it, but this is it. And like I said, I don't know how well you can really see it, but this is kind of my idea here. So, just kind of a little peek at what I'm trying to do. And then this is for like the whole pump thing. The balls are to be the pump. And I've heard that it's the reservoir that's the issue. Um, but I feel like that could be alleviated.